So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. We're having a Campari Spritz today, going for more wine tomorrow. We'll stock up for a whole week this time. But just what a beautiful day. It's Friday. It's a 3-day weekend. Go back to work on Tuesday. So, which should be really interesting. Anyway, to 3 days by myself to do nothing. But I bet I can get to work on that book that I've been promising myself for a long time. So we'll try to be productive this weekend. My name is Christopher. I'm delighted you're here. If you wouldn't mind maybe hitting the like button, and if you haven't done so already, maybe the subscribe button. It would be really nice to get a little bit more support for the algorithm as we're trying to grow the channel, but really just wanting to grow the channel with the likes of you. We don't need anything crazy. We want exactly what we've got, just a little bigger. So that'd be awesome. So today, the wind down word of the day is crepuscular. And this means being active at dawn or at dusk or both. I love these types of words because we can use them in so many metaphorical situations, right? You know, like that person that never sleeps. You know, they're up all night, they're up early in the morning. Oh, what a crepuscular reprobate you can be. See, these wonderful things you can do with these words. So crepuscular is fabulous. And looking back in history here, some areas that really tend to hit our grids an awful lot. On this day in 1813, Giuseppe Verdi was born. And what a composer. And today in 1954, Ho Chi Minh enters Hanoi after the French leave. And we know where that goes from there, right? You know, all the confusion in the crossword. Is it Hanoi or is it Ho Chi Minh City? I can't, you know, it must be Saigon. No, it was Saigon, but now it's Ho Chi Minh. See, all these things, they just kind of spur in us the desire to get out there and look it up real quick, right? You know, sitting on the subway, sitting in the doctor's office, you know, keep that list of things that you want to actually do a little research into, right? Just to kind of plant that nugget in our brains. That's always an amazing thing. But I think it's time for us to hop into our grid. Let's see what we got for our Friday here. So I'll, without any further ado, adjust to my posture and try to set a good plus tax. Try to set a good example. There, that wasn't so hard now, was it? Okay, so so the title of the crossword column is Spends a Lot of Time Baking. How baking? So for Friday, October 10th, all right, Colin Adams, what do we got going to say? It'll be great. Let's see what we got. Let's open up our weekend. And I get so excited about Fridays and Saturdays because these are the best days of the week for me. But remember, I was once the guy that looked so forward to Mondays, and then eventually Mondays and Tuesdays, and then finally got my toes wet on Wednesdays. And don't get me wrong, I always tried to jump into a Friday, but at the time, gosh, 19, 20 years old, I just, you know, I was always amazed if I got something right, you know. So over time, it gets better. So let's see, Viking of cartoon fame, 3, 5, let's see, going Hagar. Now, some folks will give you the advice when you're starting out, and I think it's good advice, to go through, just look through the acrosses and downs, just start there. And see if there's anything you just know. You just know what it is. And then maybe put those in, but keep in the back of your mind that it could be a trick question and it could be the exact same number of letters. It's just not going to work in that situation. It'd be another 3-letter answer, right? So just keep those things in mind. But nevertheless, it is absolutely possible to go through and do that. I think once you get a little bit more experience with the grids and solving, it just makes sense to just clean out a corner at a time and do what you can as you go, you know, and see there. But when first starting out, that's a really good idea, right? Go get what you know, and then come back and try to solve between. So instrument in the emblem of Ireland, and that would be a harp. Oh, you'll find it everywhere, including the logo of a Guinness. So best-selling singer whose album titles are all Arabic numerals, and I think this is Adele. You know, I have as many albums as I've ever had in my life, but now I'm just mostly on Spotify. And so I don't get to look at the album, the cover art every time I pick up the CD or the cassette or the LP, because I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm just playing it on my devices, really, and mostly on one of my iPads. They've all got it loaded up, so whatever room I'm in, if I'm doing something in there for a while, that's what I'll tune up and go. So, excuse me, together musically, I'm thinking adieu and charge, maybe run at, maybe expert on inheritance. So if I had to guess, I would say this is maybe a geneticist, just on inherited genes. Geneticist. We'll try it. C looks weird there, doesn't it? We'll figure it out, though, if we're wrong. Cry after a reappearing act. Ah. Peekaboo. Got it. That's the kind of thing that really does, kind of keep the kids entertained when they're really small, doesn't it? Magician's cry. If I had this by itself, without anything else to go with, I probably would have said, and voila. But so I guess we're going to have alakazam. I don't even know if I've even heard a magician say, et voila. I don't know, but it feels like I did. Treats again, in a way, as a sprain. Can go with the retapes. Hard to miss shot. I'm assuming we're talking about golf, maybe a tap in. And I was guilty as all get out of golf for the longest time. And I mean that the most liberating day of my life is when I decided I was never going to play again. Just gave those clubs away. Just gave them away. The Titleist, Scotty Cameron putter. I think I might have sold that for like $400, but everything else I just gave away. Offered. Oh, you can offer by making a bid, right? Duh. Okay. Took, maybe seized. And company whose stock price cratered in the early 2000s, and that would have been Enron. My stockbroker at the time, this is before 9/11 when this happened, and he said, you should put $100 on it. You know, the stocks are down to like 75 cents, but I think they'll go back up to $1.25. So I did. And I think I sold short at like 95 cents. I mean, I think I made 20 cents a share or something. I mean, it was not a bad deal. It was something. It was a couple bucks, but it was kind of funny. Greek letter that refers to a lone wolf in Gen Z slang. I have no idea. I'm assuming Sigma, and it looks like that will all line up. But let's just check it. So the Emperor and his subjects in Disney's Emperor's New Groove. I have no idea. We'll go with Incas. Why not? Mirthless could be grim. Okay, that makes sense. It's in an M, 12 pages, maybe. So, 12 pages. Yeah, I think we've got ourselves Sigma here. Colonial homes could be. Okay. We could have ant hills and ant farms. Was no longer under the weather. I don't know. Preceding periods could be eaves. So I think was no longer under the weather could be felt okay, maybe. That's funny. This is a Friday grid and it's challenging, as it should be, right? Star. Pretty, please. Where all your knowledge might be wasted. Bok choy. Let's anchor at bok choy. Let's see what we get with that. Where all of your knowledge might be wasted. Okay, this is going to be a long shot, I know. I'm going to put in bar trivia. And see if this V lines up. If it does, I feel good. By could be via. All right, so bit of a fast food side order. So maybe an onion ring, maybe? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Onion ring it is. I hope at this point, after making such a big deal about it. Rackets. I don't know. Dins. I haven't got a clue. The Beatles, The End. And in the end, love has one at the beginning. Okay. Probably Dins. I think this might be a drum solo. I don't really know. Shares a big fish story. Say, I've got more room than I need for lies. So maybe brags. Spinning yards. Oh, there I was. It was this big. Kind of a thing. Got you. So I'm going to go with a drum solo. Check our common parfait toppings. Could be maybe oats. And one might be ticked off. That could be a list. Make little tick marks next to the, to the items you're supposed to pick up on your shopping trip there. Long time alternative to Altoids. I can only imagine this is certs. I was just thinking about certs today. I was like, whatever happened to certs? They had, what was it, retinol? I don't even remember what it was called, but it was a big deal. And I remember going to parties when I was a teenager, would turn off the lights and you'd bite into them and then you could see sparks or something going. Was that really safe? I don't know if that was safe. But good thing I had lead chip cereal to kind of, keep me well. Gen X, we did. I think Gen X and the baby boomers and every generation going back to the start of the Industrial Revolution, we were just eating lead and, breathing in asbestos, it's what we all did. I don't know how we survived. I don't think I had to wear a seatbelt until I was 14. Maybe 13, I don't know. I don't remember the year that was a law, but wasn't it kind of like a no-duh law kind of a thing? I don't know. Blunt recap of a disappointing match. Part of a film studio's overhead. Let's see at the end. Is this by any chance an M? Excessive enthusiasm. How about mania? Let's go with a mania. This might be a boom mic. I think that's clever as all get out. Verbally threw tomatoes at, booed the Rockets on a scoreboard. Oh, Houston. Verbally threw, I think maybe booed. My favorite term that I ever learned out of a crossword has got to be boo birds. Boo birds. That's great. Boo birds. Packs of zombies. I have no idea. I guess I'm the one person in the world that just never watched a zombie movie once in his life. Not once. Unless you could count vampires as zombies. They're kind of undead, but it's not like they're going around going, brains, yeah. Ecological community. Could be a biome. And if anyone would ever tell me what order I'm supposed to watch, like Marvel movies or whatever, I'd do that. If anybody ever told me which season to start with on Doctor Who, I would do that. Might as well. It's pop culture. I would do that, but it's so confusing where to start. You can't just start with the first one made because sometimes you got prequels that make more sense. Would you start with episode 4 of Star Wars? And if you could go back and start with episode 1 and watch them all through? I don't know. Maybe that's just me being weird. I don't know. Something you might have while trying to move quickly. It could be a fire sale if we're thinking about moving merchandise quickly. So this blunt recap of a disappointing match. I lost. Okay, so I don't want to take out the trash. Let Nana take out the trash. A plus giver. A positive. Well, I am A negative. If I'm ever bleeding out in the street and you happen upon me and you're an A negative, I could use some help. Thank you. So A plus giver, how about a blood donor? Blood donor. So do these packs of zombies move in hordes? I mean, I would imagine that's a pretty good thing there. No net of Greek mythology would be the Muses. The Yankees and the Red Sox, as an example, would be foes. School that's home to Mike the Tiger, LSU, say no more. Volunteer suggestion, hey, use me. Use me. Someone who spends a lot of time baking. Well, we had 8 letters that would have been blank at one point in this puzzle, and I probably would have put a deadhead in there. But I don't think we're talking about that kind of baking. I think we're talking about maybe sunning, so maybe a beach bum. And let's check our B here. Not so private diaries, huh? Maybe blogs. And I just wanted to say, I mean, you wouldn't believe the inordinate number of emails and suggestions I've been getting to just do a podcast about my life or about life in general or just about whatever. And I think to myself, but you'd have to be important for that. But then I think, I don't know, but I'm really thinking about it. So, barrage with insults in online lingo. Is this to maybe flame? Creates. Could be forms. We're booked. One of a kind individual. Be a rare bird. I've been called a rare bird. But mostly I've been accused of being in rare form. So we're booked. Gonna go with rooms. It's clever. Creates. Yeah, I'm feeling better about forms. So we got Ant Farms now. Finally have a little bit of closure on that one. And actress, activist Cox, and LGBTQ plus activist, I think. And that's Laverne. Takes me a minute. Takes me a hot minute sometimes, right? Star could be a celeb. Now we're all kind of coming together here. And Rams legend Dickerson, how about Eric? And so was totally awesome, maybe kicked ass. Pretty please, can I? Seems like somebody when I was a child would have said, may I? Claustrophobe's desire. Caitlin of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I have no idea. 1/1,000,000th prefix, and I think this is Pico. Boy, don't hold me to that. But it seems like I always got an internal joke going when I'm around like something like Pico de Gallo. Like, you know, so 1/1,000,000th of a gallo. Key ingredients in Kong Yu Bing, a savory Chinese pancake. Oh gosh, I should know this. Let's see, AQI measurer, so air quality index would probably be the EPA. Are they still doing that these days? Eagles and Ravens. Well, these would be NFL teams. Claustrophobe's desire could be open space. Now I'm thinking, well, open space. Now I'm thinking that the actress from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia may be an Olsen, right? Look at that O, blank, blank, O in there. So, no, let's get our open space in and check it. Locales for some residents in brief. I think we're talking about resident physicians, maybe ERs. 1 out of 100. A cent. And source of relief, it could be anything. Cosmetic injection, maybe a lip filler, if that's Olsen. Lip filler. So maybe aloe is giving us our relief. Base for a bust. Base for a bust would be a plinth. always one of the things that I loved about taking architectural appreciation and other classes like that is that you learn what plinths and capitals were, right? So you've got this really beautiful column, and it's got this gorgeous base and this gorgeous top, and then that top is the capital and the base is the plinth. And you can tell like kind of where it's from and around what era just by the carvings or the markings, the actual sculpturing techniques that were used to get it to wherever they were trying to get it to. And it's just quite fascinating to me. So it's pitched. Going to go with a tent. So sentiment during el Dia de San Valentin, and that would be maybe te amo, I love you. So tempo between lento and adagio. Lento and adagio, I thought that would have been adagiente. But it doesn't matter, we're gonna go with largo. Okay, barrage with insults, maybe to flame. I'm thinking this is a flame now, and so I think we've got our NFL teams. And Christopher Nolan movie with a palindromic name would be Tenet. Have not seen it yet, want to. Hush could be to silence, and scallions, of course, and that would make up our Caitlin Olsen. And so just kind of looking through here to see what all we've got going on. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was paying enough attention to make sure that we didn't fat finger something, but how do we do, Bob? Well, I think I got lucky by the hair of my chinny chin chin because I was just kind of going through here today. Kind of lost, right? You know, I don't have my Shotzi with me. Don't really know what to do with myself. You know, I got plenty to do with myself. I've got plenty of things to get done. There's no question about that. But it's still not the same without having your soulmate with you, right? It kind of sucks. So, well, gotta tell you, Colin Adams, this was a fabulous Friday. It really was. Some of these really, really, I thought were really funny and on top of the world, right? You know, where your knowledge might be wasted, you know. And I was thinking, like having a conversation, you know, having a debate, you know, with a bunch of people that don't, you know, yeah, that's kind of a waste of knowledge. But no, this was fabulous. This was really great. And I love it when we see stuff like this and we're totally awesome, you know, kick the ass, yeah. Nice to see the Dia de San Valentin in here. That was cool. I thought we had some really clever stuff happening in here. Some things that really had me thinking, wow, that was great. And so, for example, the expert on inheritance, the geneticist, you know, it could be better, right? You know, so it was just a cool grid. I would say an outstanding grid all the way around. And of course, an A+ giver, you're just immediately going to a teacher. You're seeing an apple on a desk, chalkboard in the background, right? You know, all that stuff. But no, it's a blood donor. So it's just a beautiful grid. So let's go ahead and bring down our bannière d'adieu. So I got to set up a Zoom call and the video and the audio because tonight I will be interviewing Adrienne Baik. She's one of the solvers that we've encountered here recently, and she's agreed to do a quick interview. And I think we're going to start doing more of these because I think it'd be really cool for our audience to be able to get into and know these solvers, kind of see what makes them tick. I'm thinking of maybe calling it deconstructing the constructor, right? But whenever we're talking to setters, which is the same as a constructor, only in England, we'll have to come up with a different term for that, right? But nevertheless, for deconstructing the constructor, I think it might hit the nail on the head. And I think we'll be doing the Colbert questionnaire as well. So you have to admit that's a pretty cool questionnaire. It seems like when people answer those questions, they are known. So I think that'll be kind of fun. Looking forward to getting that edited and up, you know, hopefully tomorrow at the latest on Sunday. But you know, if you hit the notification bell or whatever, you know, if you're subscribed, you know, you watch on a regular basis, it should show up in your feed, and I think that'd be awesome. So until we see you tomorrow for the Saturday grid, which I am so looking forward to, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Que tengas uno lindo días. Be well out there. Let's always be nice to strangers.
Let's remember that heavy accents equal hearts of valor, courage, right? Hearts of lions. En queue de lion. Be well out there. Stay healthy. And remember, it's all a mindset. There may have been many, many times where I had no money, but because it's a mindset, I was never poor. Be well. Cheers.